This third video, you can see we're starting off with our little guy here. He's made some progress in a very short amount of time. He's definitely missing some important parts of his body though, and that's what we're going to focus on fixing now. So I'm going to pull out our guides, and at this stage we're going to go ahead and look at modeling his hands. And I can tell a couple things from the concept art here of the hand is he's got 4 fingers, and they're pretty fat fingers, kind of to go along with his big forearm. So we are, with that in mind, we're gonna use that information to build these hands, because I mean they're hands, gonna be cartoony hands with big fingers. So I'll go into, and I'm going to hide my references, and I'm going to hide the mesh of my character right now, because we are going to use a box to model our new hand, kind of like we did in the last video. So this should be pretty easy for everybody if you've did the last part. So we're going to go ahead and ensure, actually I'm going to, we know we're going to have 4 fingers, so if I give him 3 link segments, I can see that there's our 3 fingers. If I give him 2 width segments, I can imagine that from right here the thumb could come out, but I'm going to go ahead and say 3 and imagine that this is where the thumb's going to come out. This is the area in between the thumb and the fingers, and this back section could be heading towards the wrist. So with that in mind, I'm going to add 1 height segment so that we can actually get a little bit more control over the roundness of our fingers as we extrude. So our mesh is kind of set up now, ready for us to start modeling. So 3, 3, and 2, and right click, convert this probably to an editable poly. Now we get to start doing the extrusions. First thing that I'm going to do is hold control and select our middle polygon, and I'm going to pull this one out just a little bit like so, and we'll go ahead and do our extrusion. And what I like to do is just go ahead and pull this all the way out to where 1 finger would be. Hit R for the scale and scale that one down. Now we come, hold control, do the same thing here. Remember that the middle finger is going to be the longest one. And then scale it down. Repeat that for our pinky, semicolon. Again for the repeat last command. And the pinky should be shorter than the other fingers. And scale it down. Okay. So those are started. I'm going to select all of these guys because I want the wrist to be back here a little bit more, and I'm going to go ahead and scale this in and then maybe scale it down a little bit. Alright, so like I said, we're going to come out of here with our thumb, but what we're going to do different is we're going to take these polygons to bring out our thumb, because that's really the thumb. Since it's an opposable thumb, it's kind of on the side, but it's also underneath. So we're going to come out of here with our extrude tool, and again I'm going to just go ahead and extrude it straight down to about where the end of the thumb would be, And now I'm just going to make some adjustments. Okay, that looks pretty good to me there. And if I wanted to, I can maybe this whole thing forward, but I'm gonna leave it. I think I'll leave it right there. Be easier for rigging when we get to that point to rig this guy. Okay, let's find little tweaks. These edges right here, I'm gonna pull these up because the thumb gets fatter as it goes up. So we'll go ahead and scale the end of our thumb down here along the same lines as what we've been doing. And now I'm going to go into this edge right here and let's pull that out like so. Okay, and maybe we'll do kind of the same thing back here. Let's deselect and try this again. These two, and let's pull that back. Fair enough. Okay, the last thing that we got to do is get our digits. So what I'm going to do is do this in one shot. I'm going to select right through all of our fingers like that, and then I'm going to hold control and select right through our thumb like that. And now right click and we go to connect settings, do 2 segments. Now all of our fingers have the segments that they need. Okie dokie, those are good. Now if we wanted to just kind of test and see what it looks like, we can throw Turbo Smooth on. Yep, good enough for me for really basic hands at the moment. Some other things that we could do, we'll get rid of the Turbo Smooth, would be if I come in here and I know just going to edge and I'm still selected on everything, which is fine. These edges represent where our digits are for the finger, where each finger digit ends. We have 3 bones in our finger. Those are the 3 bones. However, our hands have a lot more detail than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with all these edges still selected, I'm going to go to Chamfer Settings. Okay, and what I'm looking to do here, I'm going to chamfer this up a little bit and I'm going to hit 2 segments. So what this gives me, as we can see, the 2 segments gives me back the original segment where we were if we chamfer back here. Okay, I'm just going to chamfer it up a little bit, put it on 2. So now we have the original edge, and now we've got these other edges that we can add a little bit more definition to our fingers, give them a little some puffiness. There's a lot of things we can do here, and we'll just something like that is good because we're gonna have to make some adjustments anyway. So leave it on 2 because we want to keep that original edge that we had. So we'll hit OK. Now what we can do is we're gonna have to go in and start tweaking these guys individually. So for example, I can come in and pick on this guy, move that down. I'm going to put my move tool to local. Well, it's just not working out today. And maybe pull that back a little bit. So remember, this was our original. So this can be like our knuckles. And if I wanted to, we can pull these edges out like that. So if we take a look at what it looks like with Turbo Smooth, we can see that we're getting some detail. Got some knuckles happening. Okay, but I'm going to undo, and I'm just going to make some overall adjustments to the top. I'll just pull up both of those knuckles like that. I'm going to pull down those and move them back like I did this one just a little bit. Okay, and we'll do kind of the same thing here with our thumb. So remember, it would have been this one, so I'll hit loop, would have been our original. So I'll scale that up a little bit, and then it would have been this one for the next one. I'm going to scale that one down because that's closer to the way the thumb is. And one thing I can see that I want to have with my thumb, you know what, I'm going to leave it like that. See what that Turbo Smooth looks like. So I mean, he's got big plumpy fingers, which is what we wanted. Let's do some last minute things here. Let's see. I'm going to pull this guy up. Let's pull these up. Pull this one up like that. Okay, now let's see what we can do under here to make this look a little more like a hand. Whoop. Maybe rotate that in a little bit. Okay. The last thing I can see myself wanting to do, when I come in, select here, control page up for grow. Control page up is the hotkey for that. And you know what? I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay. Last thing, we'll go and select on these polygons for the wrist and hit delete to get rid of them. And we don't need this Turbo Smooth. So there's our hand. So call it hand temporarily. And let's bring out the mesh. That hand's pretty large, so we're obviously going to need to scale that down a little bit. And let's bring out our references here and take a look, see what we got. So we'll rotate. Move this in place. So I can see that our fingers could be a little shorter. The hand itself, scale on local coordinates, and I can just plump it out like so, and then scale it down to make our fingers less plump. But I don't really want to do that. I just will scale it out because I would much rather just move the fingers in with the vertices. But actually, I'm just gonna I kind of like this size of those hands to give them some big hands. Yeah, I kind of like that. So what we need to do now is attach these. So let's go back down to Edible Poly, and I'm going to hide our references for a minute, and I'm going to move this hand over so we can get right up in here, and G will get rid of the grid if it gets in your way. Okay, so a couple of things that I know. If we hit delete, a couple of problems that we're going to have is all the edges and segments that we have here that we don't have on our main body here. And these are things that we eventually will have, but it's best, let's go ahead and add them now. If we go around and look, I can see, I don't know why my vertices are not showing up right now, but we've got one. Let's take a look here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vertices. We got 10 vertices that have to find homes here on this side, where we only have 4. So I'm going to come in to our edges, and what I'm going to do, I've got 4 now. I needed to find 10. So I'm going to hold Control, select on these edges, and then hit loop. So select it on all of these guys right here. And now when I do my connect, connect. So there's 4, and by connecting there's our 8. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I double it, I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's not really gonna help my problem, but if I take it down to 1, 8 is better than 10, and I know I'm going to be subdividing this at least once later, so we'll go ahead and do that for now. And when we attach this guy, I want to move him just a little bit out of the way, and I'm going to make just a couple of quick adjustments. Like so. Okay. Select on our main mesh, Edible Poly, attach the hand. Okay. Border. See, we got a border there, and we got a border there. So let's bridge right across. And we can see that it worked, and it had to figure out how it was going to make the adjustments on those edges that it's missing. If I take a look at it with our Turbo Smooth, it's not really bothering me too much, other than his hands being down a little too far. So we'll select on this hand, and I'm going to come to the select tool, and for the selection region, click and hold, and I'm going to use this one, which is the Lasso Selection, and I'm just going to drag and draw right here to select on my hand, move it up to where I wanted it. Okay. Now basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to target weld these vertices together. Or I could just simply readjust this one right here. I'll go into vertice, and since I've still got my lasso selection on, I'll just draw right around these vertices like that, move them up, and maybe scale them up. Okay, but I can tell that there are some definite problems that I want to fix, and it's going to be really easy to do this. I really want there to be an edge going across here, so I'm going to hold Control and select on these two vertices. Right click, connect. There's an edge. Go into Edge. I don't want this one. Right click, remove. This edge, which the hotkey which I made was A, but now this guy is going to come here. So connect. It's a triangle, yes I know, but that's fine. We can leave that one for now. Let's see. I want to do the same thing here. I want these two connected. A for remove, A for remove, since that's what I set my hotkey up. And connect those two. Okay, let's go and take a look at my smoothing groups. I'm going to select, I'm going to go and turn this back to rectangle. Select everything, clear all, set it to 1. Okay, pretty happy with that. So now he's got his arms and his fingers. He's ready to roll. Okay, so in the next tutorial we're going to take a look at working on the head a little bit. There's obviously some things we could still do to our guy's arms and his hands, but I'm pretty happy with that for right now. Remember, it's supposed to be really a simple character, so we'll leave him like this, and we'll go ahead and when we save it, and save as, and I'm going to do the increment save. So again, we can go back to any version, no arms, just arms, no hands, and now we got arms and hands. So in the next video, like I said, we're now gonna take a look at doing some wonderful things to his head, and then we'll continue on from there. So I'll see you the next time.